Hello, we're back. It's another episode of Spill It with your fabulous host of the evening. It's Marcus. I'm here and you are here. We're here together. It's going to be an absolutely amazing episode. So welcome to Spill It. Spill It is a show where I get to speak to inspirational people and share inspirational stories. And today is no different because we are going to be connecting people together, inspiring others, and helping people learn something new. This is episode 55, No Shortcuts to Success. And Phung Tran is now patiently waiting in the green room, and she will be coming out at 7:10 p.m. So make sure that you are staying tuned for that, because it's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait for this episode. Don't forget as well to like, share, and comment. There are 3 reasons why I asked for these. And, the first one is if you like it, it means that the algorithms of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch Facebook, let me start that again. The reason that I asked for these is because if you do your likes and your shares and your comments, it means that the algorithms on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch like to push it up to more people and go, oh, hey, this is something that people should watch. Come and watch this. And if you share it, it means that other people who won't necessarily know what Spill It is about, what the Spill It community is all about, and all the episodes and things like that, it means that they can also be part of the Spill It crew, become teacups themselves in a way. And also, if you do a comment, it means that we get to do things like this. Look, so Linda has commented saying, morning, Linda. It's so nice to see you. Thank you once again for joining. It means that we get to interact with your comments. So make sure that you do comment. It's super, super important. You can ask questions throughout. You can just leave your nice little comments. You can leave a nice little, hey, how you doing? Whatever you want to do. It's all good in the hood. So make sure, guys, that you have hit that share button. Let's get this far and wide. Okay. Time for some announcements, right? Okay. I mean, it's not as many announcements as last week. Last week, we had like 4 different announcements and it was going on forever. This week, I've only got 2 announcements for you. 2 lovely, lovely announcements for you. Number 1, really, really fitting, actually, because I am sweating my box off right now. Feeling hot, hot, hot. I mean, we are British people. We're British people. We love talking about the weather. And the weather, it's a scorcher out there. I'm feeling hot. You're feeling hot. Everybody's feeling hot. How are you coping in the weather? This heat wave is going on forever. I've checked the weather report tomorrow, and it's more sunshine and heat. And then same again on Thursday. No, tomorrow is Thursday. And the same again on Friday. And then over the weekend, that's when it's starting to change a little bit, let's say. But how are you coping with the weather? Have you come up with a nice, unique way of how to keep cool? How have you been keeping your pets cool? Because obviously pets are important, like during the heat waves and everything. So with the dogs, we've got them a nice little cooling mat, so they get to lie down on the cooling mat and just chill out a little bit. I've been also putting ice cubes in the drinking bowls, like in the water. So then obviously they get a nice, cool, refreshing drink. So how have you been coping, and how have you been actually making sure that your household, your animals, and all that lot are what's interrupting this? What do you mean, what's interrupting this, Linda? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, just make sure that you are keeping cool, you are staying hydrated, and also making sure that your animals are staying hydrated as well. Make sure you do that. Yes, do it. And your last announcement is on Monday. So we talked about it briefly last week, and it happened, didn't it? Monday is or was our Freedom Day. It keeps coming up. Viewing has been interrupted. I'm not too sure, Linda. I think it might be on your end. It seems fine on my end. But if not, I'll have a look into it. But I think it's on your end, Linda. Just try closing it and reopening it. Anyway, I'm gonna have to edit that bit out, Linda. Thanks. Anyway, so on Monday, we had our Freedom Day. Now, for those people who don't know what Freedom Day is, because you might be watching or listening outside of the UK, because a lot of my audience on the podcast side of things are live overseas. They live in the US or Germany or Australia or all over the world, 14 different countries. And so they might not know what our Freedom Day is. Now, our Freedom Day is essentially, we got let loose. Restrictions were lowered, which meant that actually, officially, our lockdown had officially ended after 16 months. And that is huge. Now, obviously, I know that it's not been a complete lockdown over 16 months. I know that, some things have been opened and, there's been a bit of leeway and whatever. It's not been a full 16 months of lockdown hell, but we've not had the joys of hugging people and being in large groups of people, or going to like nightclubs and dancing on the dance floors and whatever. Like, we've not had that joy in 16 months. One of the things I'm really looking forward to is the return of theatre. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to getting back to the theatre. So how have you done anything crazy over the last few days, since obviously Freedom Day has come in? What have you been doing? How have you been spending your Freedom Day? Drop a comment and let me know. What have I done? Nothing. I've been working. That's all I've done. Like, so Monday was Freedom Day. Do you know what though? Actually, before I continue about me, I was sent a video. Oh my God, it was amazing. It made me smile so much. I was sent a video of one of the nightclubs in Preston. And what they had done is that they did a big countdown, because obviously the clubs have only been able to do like table service, so you've not been able to get up and dance or whatever. You've had to basically just sit there and just order your drinks on an app or whatever, and then they come over and give you your drinks, and it's been really, really boring. Anyway, so one of these bars, which was a nightclub beforehand, it just reopened up as a bar because they had to survive. One of the bars had done a countdown on Sunday night. So they opened on Sunday evening, and when it was getting towards midnight, they started doing a countdown, and everybody was counting down from 10. Oh my God, it was such a good video. I'm going to have to share it on my socials just so you guys can see it. So they did a countdown, and then when they got to 1, it was midnight, which meant that everybody just got up and ran over to the dance floor. They played like some really good music, and you just saw everybody kind of marching towards the dance floor and just taking over it and dancing away. Honestly, it was one of the best videos I see. Manchester also did something like that as well in the gay village. So one of the bars in Manchester, they had balloons over the ceiling, so obviously they would drop down at midnight. So they did the countdown, and then the balloons dropped from the ceiling. They started playing Lady Gaga. Now, for Gaga fans out there who like the clubbing, Gaga released like a massive hit over the lockdown period, which meant like, because Gaga is like, she's a god to the LGBTQ plus community, and so she released these hits, and nobody was able, like, there was like good songs as well that you would be on the middle of a dance floor with, and nobody could dance. And it was really, really annoying people, because they were like, she's released these like amazing hits and nobody can dance. Anyway, so this club in Manchester had released these balloons and then played like one of Gaga's hits from her album, and people were just like running out to the dance floor. They were flailing their arms around. Oh my God, it was such a good video to watch. And they're the types of videos that I like. It was brilliant to watch. I will definitely, Linda's asked if I will share it. I definitely will. I will, I'll find it. I'll find those videos, those two, the one from Preston and the one from Manchester, and I'll get them shared, because honestly, it really does fill my soul with love. I absolutely loved it. Anyway, I've talked your ear off for like 10 minutes. The majority of it was talking about nightclubs. You can tell where I want to go. Anyway, I have talked your ears off. It is that time. My guest is waiting patiently in the back, ready to come out, and I cannot wait to hear her story. Here she is. It is my lady of the hour. Oh, I cannot wait. Here she is. It is Phung Tran. Hi.
Hello, Marcus.
How are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
I am very, very well. Thank you so much for asking. Are you excited to be here?
Oh, yes, I love that intro.
That's what everybody says. Everybody says, "Oh, I love that intro." I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I've got like bags of energy, and yeah.
yeah, you do. I'm so honored.
Well, it is so nice to have you here. Honestly, we connected back in April when I
Mm,
was looking for new guests for my season 2 of the show, and you were one of the standouts for me as well. You've got such a great personality, and the story that you're going to be talking about today is really going to be people are going to really resonate with it. It's something that has happened, especially over, as we were just talking about then, with like
yeah.
lockdowns and things like that. There's been a lot of these people slash companies slash, oh, shortcuts to here's a pill that will you take one a week and the weight will just drop off you and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of those that come out of the woodwork, and obviously because we were chatting back in April, I was like, this is something that I definitely need on the show, because they were just coming out of everywhere, and you were like this person on the other end of the screen for me, and I was going, yes, you know where my head's at. Let's
Yeah.
get this done.
All right, let's get this going.
Well, before we get into it, are you ready to play a little game?
Okay, yeah, I'm afraid of this, but we'll see how I
Yeah,
do it.
you've watched one of the episodes with it on, and you like, this is one that
Oh,
you're
I
really,
watched
really scared
many
of.
of these. I watched like 10. I'm like, oh Lord.
Well, there's nothing to worry about. Just have a little fun, because here it is. It is the 5-second rule. That's right. It's the 5-second rule. This is a game that I play with all of my guests. It's just a little bit of fun, a little bit of an icebreaker. Look at your face. All it is so I will ask you to name 3 somethings, and you've got 5 seconds to name those 3 somethings. It is as simple as that. There's no need to think deeply into it. All you've got to do is just say the first thing that comes to your head. Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. We're all about the fun in here, aren't we?
All right, we'll see.
Okay, are you ready for your first one? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. So are you ready for your first one?
Okay, sure.
Awesome. Name 3 female names that start with the letter D.
Diana, Danielle.
That's all right. You got 2 out of 3. Well done.
Okay. Yeah. I think
Well
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Danielle. It's like Daniel, but like I have a couple of friends whose name like Danielle for some reason. Like
Danielle's
yeah,
one.
I'm like,
Diana. You've
uh-huh.
got Diane. That's another one.
Diane. Yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
those two.
So Diane, Diana, Danielle, Danny.
Danny.
Um,
Uh,
what else have we got? There'll be loads. I'm sure people will start putting them into the comments as well very, very
yeah.
shortly. I know one person who absolutely loves this game. She'll be like typing away loads of different names beginning with D at the moment. Okay, here is your second one.
Okay.
Name 3 smells that make you gag.
Oh, vomit, cat poop, and whatever. What was? I think I need some time for the last one because it's probably like when you do gardening and you do like composting yourself,
Oh
you do
yeah,
your own compost. That smell.
yeah. Cat poop.
Yeah, I have a cat, so I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I
no.
love her, but cleaning up is a mess.
I get that.
Yeah, one of those robot. I need to buy one of those robot things so that it would filter out everything, and then just the end of the week, I just put it in like a bag, and that's it. Like I don't need to do it every day because I'm like, no.
Okay. Name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
So I would play with my cat, talk to her, talk to myself, or do nothing. I just lie on the floor. Yeah, literally. I mean, I I know I'm like a fitness coach. All I do is like try to be active, but when nobody's looking, I'm like, time to go, time to sleep.
All I do is lie on the floor.
Yeah.
As soon as people leave the house, lie on the floor.
Exactly. Nobody's here. Bye. Me and my cat. Well, that's exactly why I have a cat. We'll hug each other.
There you go. Love it. Well, that is the end of the 5-second rule. See, it's not as bad as what you thought, is it?
Okay. I see. Okay.
See, it was nice and easy. Right, let's get into it, because this is going to be a story that will really resonate with a lot of people out there, especially in the UK. Now, obviously, I'm fully aware that obviously you're not in the UK, but this story in particular will resonate with a lot of the UK audience, because we have just come out of lockdown, and there are a lot of people who are working on their summer bodies, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They're at that time of year that we can now start going on holidays and things like that. So people are starting to go, well, actually, I want to feel a little bit better and look a little better and all that lot. And so obviously, this is why this story is going to be super, super important for right now. But before we get into that, I just want to know one question: who is Phung Tran?
That's a great question. So yes, Phung Tran is just I am currently an exercise physiologist, and what I do is basically help people to get active, train themselves both online and in person, so that they can be active, work out, and have fun doing all of that, but also not feeling bad or comparing themselves to whatever things that they see either on social media or even traditional media. And that's exactly what I do. But for me, I got started, all of this is coming back from my personal story. So in middle school, I was in Vietnam. So I'm active. I participated in sports. It was cheap, it was free actually. So my mom didn't have to pay for anything. She's like, here you go, like go there. Like just extra schooling stuff. You can go there for free, obviously. And then I was pretty active, PE, everything. So I would say, a week I would work out for like 10, 12 hours. That's a lot. Now, like for, the recommended time is only 2 hours and 30 minutes. So like by that time I was like overshooting everything. And so obviously I was young, I was active, so I could eat whatever I want, right? Whatever thing is out there, you just try to eat.
A lot of us were like that. A lot of us, like back in the day, I mean, there'll be some people in the comments that will understand it as well. Back in the day when you're young and you're really active, I mean, even in our schools, for example, we had, so if I think back in my high school, we had a gym that you were urged to use, and then obviously during PE there'd be like activities where you're constantly running around or going on long runs and whatever, and so you would I think somebody in the comments, Emmy, as well, so me and her used to go dancing together, so we were active all the way during school, and then after school we'd go dancing like multiple times per week. So we were like really, really thin. We could eat whatever we wanted. I could probably eat like 10 Mackies a day and still be like really thin because of how much I was like working out and everything. And you don't think about that when you grow up a little bit, do you?
No, you don't. I literally didn't think about it at all. Because I mean, in Vietnam we have like food stall, like street food. So I'm like going out there. They don't have the best hygiene, but like you just risk everything. You just start going out, eat whatever, and have fun. Literally, I'm just like, well, this is the best of my life. What do I want? I'm young, I'm healthy. Eating whatever I want. I have nothing to worry about. That's so great, So comes high school, my parents decided to move me to the US, which is like a completely new, different level of things. So like besides the cultural shift, language barrier, I did have a couple, but also, we in the US here, we don't have as much urge to do a whole lot of physical activity, even though I was still going to high school here. Here you gotta drive a car around. You can't really walk around, find street food anymore. So I literally got stuck at home because I didn't know how to drive. I mean, I was a kid. How am I supposed to drive? So I didn't drive. I couldn't go anywhere. I stopped the sport because like my parents were like, well, no, that this is too much now. We can't do it anymore. We don't trust you just walking down, 10 miles to find a place to run around.
Yeah, because I was literally just like about half an hour before we went live tonight, I was watching a video of an American girl who has come to a British university, and she was like, one of the things that she like could not get her head around was the fact that in the UK, for example, we walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And in the US, like, because she was basically saying, and I had no idea like that it was like this in the US, but she said in the US, we drive everywhere. Like, you have to drive 10 to 15 minutes to get into the town or the city center or whatever. Like, you'll be driving forever just to get into town. And she said, like, I am not used to walking everywhere because
oh my God,
we just drive absolutely everywhere. and I didn't get it. I didn't know that it was like that. And obviously when you just confirmed it there, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I just watched this video.
It's crazy. It's maddening. I mean, the closest grocery shop to me is 2 kilometers away.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mine's on the corner of my house.
I know. I'm like, I'm so used to like be able to walk anywhere because it's lovely. You walk down the street, you have neighbors there, you go down to whatever you want. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate this thing. This is the worst thing ever. Because I'm like, I can't walk. Literally one of my goal was actually when I vacation, I'll go to like the city called Savannah. It's still in Georgia. It's a couple hours away, but it's designed. It's European style, so you can walk around. Literally, that whole city is one of the oldest city in America, so they have that European style. I just need to go back here. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, I don't work out. I feel mad about everything, so I still eat the same way because it's so hard to quit. You're used to eating whatever you've been eating. And so once I suddenly stopped working out and feeling bad, I myself ballooned up. Like I got very, I mean to say fat, basically. So like I got big, I got fat, and then I didn't like myself, like looking in the mirrors, I didn't like who I was becoming at that time. And then I just went online, like any other people. So I would go on Google or Instagram, look up like tips to get healthy, how to lose weight fast, like all kind of things that we all do, I would say. And all of the tips coming up, it was like very contradicting to one another at that time. Like either you have to eat this, you have to do that. Like, don't do this workout, do this workout. And one of the tips that made me so mad that I'm like, when I go to college, I need to study about this thing was quit white rice. Like you cannot eat white rice if you want to be healthy and lose weight. And I'm like, girl, that's the whole that's
girl.
No, I was a kid. Tell my mom that I'll be like out of the house and you won't see me here sitting here. It's so crazy. It's maddening. And I'm like, bro, the whole continent of Asia is gonna have a question with that. They can't be fit. I'm like, I was fit. What the heck? So yeah, I got so mad about everything. I'm like, no, like, this is wrong. So I felt that something was wrong, but also like obviously I was looking online, all these people. So it's kind of like I was in a lot of confusion, So that I'm like, go to college, and then I was looking around. I had very good counseling. I was very lucky to have very good counselors, and they was like, you know what? Why don't you major? Like, just do something in exercise science. I'm like, okay, what kind of major like study group is this? But all right, it's a small niche thing. Now it's big, but I'm like, it's small back then. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And so in it, we learn about anatomy, physiologies, about the human bodies, how it reacts when you work out. Once you start working out from like being sedentary, you don't work out. And when you start working out, what happened when you're working out different ways, when you're used to working out, maybe you get bored at working out, all of that stuff. Also with, psychology, how to get active. And I did a couple of research projects into, how to get all the professors at school to be active and have a competition. It was fun. Like I would say that. So yeah, I was like, well, I do all of these things now. So I got the knowledge, and then I was applying to myself. Obviously, when you go to college or university, there's a lot of support system for, there's a fitness center. The classes there are either free or very cheap to afford. So I went to those. I have a best friend. So basically what I did was like lash myself onto her and be like, let's go work out together, girl. So we went and worked out. So we had like a schedule, everything got written down. So I mean, by that time, it was like getting very fit. I lost, I think, 25 pounds over 2 years. So not a whole lot, I would say. I didn't, it wasn't too bad when looking back, but like, it's still a big amount. And it's not like, sudden, like that wasn't in a month or anything. So I got fit, I got like thinner, get everything. So I'm like, okay, time to graduate. I'm ready. And then this pandemic happened. I graduated into the pandemic. And I'm like, oh, crap. What the heck? How am I supposed to talk? Like, I've been training people in my life, bro. How do you do it here? So I'm like, oh, Lord, I need to do something else because everybody else was closed. In the U.S., especially in my state of Georgia, we closed for like 2 months. So we closed for 2 months, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do. So I started my Instagram account, just to bring positivity for people. Talking about how, you don't have to do harsh things. You don't have to quit all of your carbs and do the keto diet, everything to lose weight. It's all about, what you do every day that matters. And just the fun profile, just make people laugh kind of things. That's basically how I'm here. Now, obviously, I do work in person at a gym. I do that. But also, I just have this little presence online so that I can help both world, basically.
And with social media, obviously, so you've created your online profile on Instagram where people can follow you for like little hints and tips and like get a bit of education around losing weight and eating healthily and things like that. And it's not about, like you mentioned there, like for example, like the keto diet. Now, we're not saying that the keto diet does not work and you should not do it and blah 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 blah. But what we're saying is that it's not really sustainable. And what we're trying to do, or what you're trying to do, is teach people how to lose weight and sustain it and how to keep it off, and that it's not just a fad diet. It's just a case of learning about it. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is around social media. So you're on social media, and I'm just wondering what your thoughts are, because you would have been on social media when obviously you were larger, and what was it like seeing photos of people on social media? Those types of photos on social media with the people like looking like the best and all of that. Like, what was that like?
I mean, I was jealous of it, I was like trying to like breathe in to make my belly smaller, like pinching the rolls of fat. I feel very bad about myself. Like even to the face, like, they look good. They have that oval shaped face. And I'm like here completely round. You literally can draw a circle around this. So I'm like, I'm very mad. And even now, I had actually on Instagram, I have one reel that went viral. So obviously most of my followers, they would like, oh, well, yeah, Phung, that was great. Because the reel was about, me comparing myself to this model who's like, how to look sexy. And, we're doing the same exact facial expression, but she turned out great, but I didn't. And so a lot of people was like, yeah, wow, that's right. Online tricks don't work. And then, but I still have, because this went viral, got like 600 likes. That's like, I don't know what happened to that. But I literally have comments be like, oh, wow, you got to lose weight. Like, go hit the gym, girl, or something like that. Even now, like, I'm like, boy, I'm fit. I'm good. Like, it's just my face that look like that. So, there's a lot of, there's this misconception about how people are supposed to look online. And even, I'm like, back then I felt bad. And now I'm like, all of these are lies because they're filters, basically. Yes, you can, mess up, edit your photos, do Photoshop. But now with videos, you can still apply filters onto it as well to look thinner. And so we don't know what's real or not real anymore when we're comparing ourselves to these images online, because I mean, maybe these models, they do mess up their photos and videos, and now you're comparing yourself to like an impossible, because that's not how these models look like at all. And so that's going to make you feel even worse. And then when you buy their products, a lot of these people obviously try to sell you, different things. And then you're like, you're doing this, and then you're not getting the results that were created in your head, and now you're feeling even worse, and then you wasted more money, and then you're just going downward. It's a downward spiral that you're going through, and that's not great.
No. One of the talking about filters. So one of the things that has happened in Europe, so in Sweden, and I'd love to have your thoughts on this as well. In Sweden, there's been a law that is either passed or it's going to be passed, or they're discussing it, that any photos online on social media, they have to have a disclaimer stating what filters they have used. And it's a way to protect children and their body image and body confidence when looking at these people online. So yeah, it's Sweden that have said that there should be, you have to put a disclaimer, and you have to show, tell them exactly what filters you've been using. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it will be great depending on how they implement it. I know Instagram, if you use filter, there is labels of which filters you use. It's it's the problem when people sort of download things and then don't re-upload, so the tags don't appear automatically. And I mean, we need it because I don't know if you can see this. This is viral video about Kim Kardashian, and then they show how when she's going through her body, her fingers.
Yes, I saw that.
And you're like, oh. I mean, yeah, she looks good. She got the natural body. She did some definitely, surgery there, but like she also go through that. And if like this one girl or even boy, look at it and thought, oh wow, this is real. It's a video, so it's real. And then they're trying to force themselves into that, either eating wrong or, exercises too much. That's a very bad thing to let happen. So yeah, but when you implement these rules, I don't know how, they're supposed to do. Like, do I have to type in? How do they enforce it? Because it's internet, so it's, even if you're from Sweden, you can still, see me. Like, I will give you my filters, like all of the stuff that I do, but like other people, how do you enforce like people from all around the world to do it? So I'm not sure how they're gonna implement it, but the thought is good.
Yeah, the purpose behind it, they're definitely coming from a place of good. I think you're right, they have to implement it correctly. And if it gets implemented correctly and it's monitored correctly, then it will do wonders for people on social media, like young kids growing up and feeling some type of way because of the fact that they're being made to feel like that because of the photos online and on social media.
Now there's a trend for beauty surgeon, like the TikTok trend. So the kids now are trying to make themselves look like the picture.
Oh, it's crazy. There was one, wasn't there, with one of the Kardashians again, where they were doing like they sucking the lips through an egg cup or whatever to try and get like the blown up lips, and there was ones that were going wrong and they were getting blistered and whatever, and it's completely crazy. But it all comes from trends, and it's just weird that these like little things like this are trends.
And then people, even us adults, we don't. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between real and just magic. So yeah, they're trying to do it. Even 5-minute crap like about different hacks, and turns out like it killed somebody. I believe like one of the kid was trying to do it, and then it exploded into her face.
Wow.
And, it's very bad. So that's a bad state of what we have right now with like the internet, and then people just spread false information around, and sometimes it's so hard to find like, okay, is this real or not? Should I trust this, or how do I stay away, or even educate my kids to stay away from this?
Speaking of spreading false information or uneducated information, now obviously, as I said right at the top of the episode, there was a lot of because of our pandemic, because of lockdowns and things like that, and a lot of people losing their jobs, there were a lot of people jumping on the MLM companies. Now, I've done an episode on MLM companies with Hattie Rowe from TikTok, and she came on to talk about how they used to, or basically how they approach vulnerable people. They only approach these vulnerable people, but like to put them into a situation where they think, I need to do this. But it's more about the spreading of information, the spreading of misinformation. Sorry. So these people, for example, are spreading the word about losing weight, or like dietary pills, or dietary, like even patches or whatever it is that they're trying to sell. And they're not educated. They've not gone to study. They've not learned about, losing weight and fitness regimes and things like that. And so therefore they're spreading misinformation. Now, I know that obviously you have posted your own stuff about MLM companies along this, and I'm just wanting your thoughts and what you'd like to share about those MLM companies.
I would say I have family members who was brought into this a couple of years ago. So, they were in a bad financial shape, marital stuff happening. So there's like, well, I need to do something. And it's, the bad things I see with MLM is they target more women than men, because we like to having, work at home, more flexible schedule, all that stuff. And it's just sad, really. I feel bad for the people who are robbed into this, but the people who know like what they're doing, like the big corporate company, I'm really mad at them, because when you're selling, these patches and stuff, you're like selling a lie, and you're telling yourself like a lie every day. And I would say it's not gonna do well in in the long term. Like, what we're doing, we're saying things that we believed in. This is something that we been through, we try, and then we either learn from school or from our experience. So when we speak, it's from that, like the bottom of our heart to people. But these MLM companies, what they do is just trying to make a quick buck, making their associate buy like just expensive things. I'm like, I hate oil MLM. I'm like, oh gosh, these things. I can go to Walmart and get the same thing for $2. So give me
exactly that. Yeah.
So it's very sad for the contributors. Like, they're basically in a very bad shape, and they're trying their best to support themselves and their families, but they're just spreading this lie. Because one thing that I would tell people, like when you look for some fitness people online, is either they tell it from their personal story. So they they was somebody, they from point B, like point A being like bad, whatever, and then they do something, and it's not like just the patches and stuff. You see like their progress, and that they arrive at point B, which is better, so that you can sort of like, okay, maybe that, or that person actually went to school and or have like certification. So like in the US, we have what's called the gold standard. So you would look for about like 10, 12 of these organizations, and people who went through the certification from them actually has been vetted. Like, it's very strict. You have to have a test. In the UK, I believe there's a thing called records of exercise professional, the REP, or even like this, Charter Institute for the Management of Sport and Physical Activity. So like these people, that's something you have to look for when you're, looking for your next trainers, because I mean, the training isn't hard. I'll tell you that. When you go like personal training, I have an exercise physiologist, which is a 4-year degree. And so I can, read a couple of doctors' tests, see what's happening. But even if just personal trainer, they're very easy to get from even these supposed like hard, organizations, but they have good standard of what you're supposed to do, so that you can trust them. But when you go through these MLM, it's just like anybody can start, anybody can pay like $2,000 and then buy these kits and then start selling. And that's wrong, because they haven't done it themselves. That's my biggest problem. These people haven't done it, even from the not really people with the degree or anything. They at least they did something. They went through this, and they're just trying to sell their stories, which is fine. I mean, it's not the best scenario, but they're still coming from the bottom of their heart that this is what they did. But like all these MLM, it's like, oh, I found this, last week at a party, and now I'm selling it. It's just wrong.
It is, and it is the information that they give as well. There's plenty of them out there. So, for example, Juice Plus. I'm not sure if that's a thing over there. So, Juice Plus, Herbalife is another one. These are ones that talk about diets and
dieting, and they're now having stores in the US. So they don't put the Herbalife, label on the store, but when you come in, it's all about fit nutrition or fit smoothie or whatever. And what they would do is like sell you in a cup, and they're trying to, bypass a regulation in the US, which isn't a whole lot. I'll tell you, there's not many, and they don't have any label. It's just basically powder that they mix into like a blender, and then they sell it to the people. And obviously, when it's sweet, they sell it as like a very good, meal replacement, or this like you drink this and all the toxins gonna come out or whatever. And it's very wrong because they're not putting their labels, even these people. And when people online tell them about it, they got mad at the reviewers. Like the reviewers just come and be like, "This is the Herbalife front. Don't buy from them." And
that is mad.
Yeah,
that is absolutely mad. And but then obviously these people who sell the things like Herbalife and Juice Plus, the other ones that are all like dietary stuff, the people who are just the distributors, they don't know the information that they're giving out. They don't know what ingredients it is and what actually that does to the body and all that. All they get given is the information from their upline to just say, oh, well, this is what it does, and this is why people should take it. This is actually what you don't need. And actually, you need to learn about stuff like that. You need to be educated in dietary like dietary requirements and things like that, to actually be able to comment to someone and say, this is what you need, this is what you don't need, this is what we recommend. And no, the thing is that no personal trainer, no dietitian or anything like that would tell you to have meal replacement shakes. Like, let's be honest, they would never say let's do meal replacement shakes, because it's all about the calorie deficit.
That's the most common theory right now is calorie deficit.
Yeah, calorie deficit is huge at the minute, and to be fair, it works. Everybody knows it, and it's something that actually is makes sense. Like it's the only thing that makes sense.
And there are research to back it up. But obviously, when it's just when you're losing weight, you don't want to just lose weight. You want to lose the fat. And that's when, calorie deficit as a theory is sort of like lacking behind in that. So if you're losing weight, but you're losing muscles, would that be good for you?
Well, probably not.
So there's a lot. So that's the problem with doing science, is that but it's complicated. Somebody else is coming in and be like, no, actually I don't think so, but okay. And we have a whole lot. So that's what I love about the scientific community, is like somebody said something, somebody else will be like, I don't think so, skeptic. And then they actually prove things. In the US we have like this Mediterranean diet, to lose weight. And people found out that the guy who came up with that actually falsified his numbers.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why the people in the Mediterranean live longer than the people in the US, because they have a very good system to like walk around and then have, good healthcare system. That's it. It's not about the diet, because they're like, well, they're still drinking a lot of oil down there. They're eating not a whole lot of vegetables. But, we could copy that, but realize, oh, wow, they can walk.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
So going back onto the topic of how people can help themselves and obviously being careful of what's out there and all that lot. So obviously, as I said, the UK, for example, we've just come out of our 16-month lockdown. There are a lot of people who are booking holidays and wanting to look their best, and they're probably going to end up falling for one of these diet fads just to try and quickly lose the weight. What advice would you give to somebody who is wanting to lose weight in a healthy way, and how to avoid these, and I'll call them what they are, these scams?
Okay. I mean, you are how you live, I would say. If you want to change, it gotta take some time. I know it's boring, it's repetitive, but it takes some time. Like, start doing the small things. So don't try to be like, okay, I booked my cruise thing in the month now, so I gotta lose 10 pounds. Like, don't do things like that. Do like things, set yourself with like small inconveniences. So one of my clients, she was having, a can of ginger ale every day of the week. And we all know that's bad. It's like drinking a can of Coke every day. And I'm like, well, no, but don't try to cut that all off just for a month, because you're gonna get back to it once we're done together. What you should do is just cut it in half. share the other half with your friend, family, whatever. You're together. Build this whole relationship together. Drag your family into this thing, and then make them let them help you keep yourself accountable. Like have somebody, a good support system. And then she was like, just slowly, she went from like just half a can to like half a can every other day, and then she just quit without even realizing it, because it becomes much easier for her, because now her skin get better, she got more energy going. So that's one of the things that I do advocate for, is that you don't try to shoot for the big goal. I know it looks great, it's gonna make a good social media story, but we all have to start somewhere, and it's better if you can sustain that change that you have, because change is hard, it's scary. So if you can do like small inconveniences throughout the day that you totally can do, it's just like take a little bit more extra effort, but not like life-changing effort, that you can start like that, and you start leveling up. Once you get there, you'll be like, okay, I could do it now, I'm successful. So now you go to the next thing, and like just the little inconveniences, but now it's easier now, so you can just keep leveling up. And so a couple of months or a year, you're gonna get there. Literally, you will get there, but it takes some time.
So there you go. You heard it here first. Make sure you start off small. Don't shoot for the stars straight away. Just take your time. You've got all the time in the world.
So who cares? Now everybody is kind of like that. Think about it. Nobody's looking at you. Do you look at anybody else when you go out? No. So nobody's looking at you.
That's actually a good mantra to have, really, because a lot of people they feel very self-conscious, thinking like, oh, this is, I dread to think what people think of me, and I don't want to go out in public because of what I look like. And actually, people don't care. How many people do you look at?
Yeah, exactly. You don't look at anybody, so chances are nobody's looking at you. It's just you judging yourself in the mirror. Exactly.
I really like that. It's a very good mantra to have. With regards to yourself, so obviously you created your own social media profile over on Instagram because you had to, because of the pandemic. What's next for Phung Tran?
I would say actually I'm changing a bit, so I'm focusing more on the in-person side, and now I'm actually changing company now, so that I can work like basically doing intensive one-on-one training in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in the UK, you can't come, but that's one of my big plan, is like having more intentional with what I do with my in-person services, and how to help people, like the best way to do that. And so that's something that I'm focusing on for the rest of this year, is that side, like intensive on that, because I haven't been doing that for a while. It's just online. So now I'm like, okay, now in person, because we're open up.
Exactly. Now that you can, so you might as well do it. If that's what your goal is, you've got to smash it, don't you?
Yeah.
Just wondering, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like the opportunity to talk about now?
So yeah, what do I say? I would say I love talking to you all here. It's very funny to look at, all of your comments with Emily and Linda. Emmy. Oh, my friend's name is Emily, so I just, looking at that. But yeah,
it's okay. She gets it all the time.
But yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a fun thing, but I hope that you take away is that we all sort of going through this together. We all look in the mirror and don't like ourselves. It's just how we can sort of pull ourselves out of this, the ditch, is that is what matters. But we all have to start somewhere.
Definitely, 100%. Now, if people wanted to get in touch with you to learn a bit more, then maybe, because obviously you can't do anything in the UK, it might be that you'd be able to help them out with something, though, or maybe they just need a little bit of further information from you. So where can people find you if they wanted to contact you?
So yeah, I'm very active on Instagram, as we've been saying. So you can find me online on Instagram at Be Active is Easy. Is be active is easy. So the grammar is wrong, and it's for a reason. It's the promise I made to myself at the beginning of this pandemic. Is like, yes, I will keep myself active, and it's gotta be easy. That's basically my promise to myself. And also, if you're so Instagram is more like fun things, quick tips. But if you like more, in-depth questions, I do have a blog on my website at beactiveiseasy.com, and you can go there. I publish blog like bi-weekly, so you can go there online and read in more in-depth research. I do some research with like a TikTok trend, so that was fun. So yeah, if you want more of that, or my services, I do offer, one-on-one service online for people who like beginner who wants to get started and do the right things. Because my plan is with that is that you work with me for like 3 or 4 months. And you get good. You don't need me again. I'm not like one of those people who's like, you got to stick around for the rest of your life. No, we work together for at most like 4 months, and then you're done. You can go out, you can find your trainer, you can find, the activities that you like. Maybe you don't want to be personal training. Maybe you like to do sports, or you'd like to go dancing with Marcus again. You can do that too, and know how to balance that between your life, your schedule, different priorities in life. And, that's what I do. We just live healthy the way that we want to.
Brilliant. And what we'll do is I'll post out the links to your Instagram and to everything else that they might need after the show as well, and then I'll put them into the show notes ready for the podcast. So make sure that you do check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Phung, can I have your final thoughts, please?
Yes. So my final thoughts in this is that you can definitely lose weight for free. You don't have to waste money on shakes, on patches, on juices, none of that. Like none of that scams, like Marcus said. You can lose weight for free. What you gotta do is just to get started, set the right goals, and be on the track to lose weight. It's that simple.
And that is your quote, isn't it, as well?
Oh,
So
yes.
your quote is, you can definitely lose weight for free. So why is it important for people to remember that you definitely can lose weight for free?
I mean, we all gonna have, problems in life. This pandemic is one thing that we all experience together, like as people living in the world together. But obviously, maybe once you're gonna have like, unemployment, you're gonna have a new family, you're gonna have different things happening. Like life's gonna throw, things at you, and you're gonna fall off track. Like that is completely normal. I fell off track multiple times, from middle school, high school. That's like the biggest thing. But also this pandemic, I did fell off the track for, some months, and that's all right. You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel this, even though you've been doing the right thing. But then what's you're gonna do to like pull yourself up from that ditch? How do you get out and be like, okay, maybe I've been eating Oreos a whole lot, so maybe let's see how can I stop that, and go back. And that's basically it. And surrender. My name is Phung. Nice to meet you.
Hey girl, what's your name? It's Phung. There we go.
Yes.
Well, it's been absolutely amazing having you on the show, and I hope that you've enjoyed your time on the show as well.
Yeah, I love this so much. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. You are now free to say your goodbyes.
All right. So thank you to Linda, Emmy, and Surrender. I don't know if this is your name. It's odd. But thank you all, and Marcus, for having me on this show. I know I kind of messed up a bit at the end, but that's all right. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
You will indeed. Thank you so much, and we will see you very soon, I'm sure. Wow, there we go. And that was the end of the episode. I hope so much that you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much to everybody who joined in for tonight's episode, who was active and all of that. Like, Phung is an amazing guest, and I'm sure that you'll agree to that as well. As I say, I'll put all of Phung's contact details over on the show notes and also for the after post as well. But don't forget as well, you can also go onto the Spill It website at www.spillit.uk, where you'll be able to connect with all of my guests throughout the month of, we're in July, aren't we? There you go. Throughout the month of July, you've got a button on there that just says connect, and you can connect with all of my guests that I've had so far. Next week, we have got an amazing show lined up for you guys. I've got 2 guests actually next week, which is going to be absolutely fab. Next week, I'm going to be joined by Ben Campbell and Daniel Carver as we discuss, it's going to be episode 56, Take a Chance and Roll the Dice. This episode is going to be discussing Dungeons and Dragons, a good old game of D&D. This is going to be an episode talking about how D&D has been able to survive during obviously the pandemic, where things have been locked down, where obviously social distancing has been involved. How have we been able to move D&D onto an online server, if you will, to get more and more people involved? And also how a game of D&D can actually do wonders for your mental health as well. So it might not be for absolutely everybody, but just hearing that their story will be absolutely fab. And it's something that I am really, really looking forward to. My name is Marcus Wright. You can find me on all social medias using that exact name. It's MarcusWright. You can find me on all social medias, and also you can find all of my social medias by heading over to the Spill It website at www.spillit.uk, where you'll be able to find all the links to my Instagram, my TikTok, my Snapchat, my email inbox, my Facebook. You can find all of my links over on the Spill It website. When I don't do this, I run a radio show called A Little Bit of Marcus, and that goes live every single Saturday over on Beat 103 between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. You can now follow the brand new Instagram page for that by heading over to Instagram and following at Marcus Beat 103. The Instagram is there ready for when you want to have your song requests, or you want a special shout out. Maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's your mum's birthday, maybe it's somebody else's birthday, or maybe you just want to say hi to the fabulous DJ that's playing all these beautiful hits on a Saturday afternoon. But you can head over to Instagram and follow me at Marcus Beat 103 and give me your requests or your comments or whatever. I'm building that profile up. And lastly, to support me and the work that I do so much work, guys. It's unbelievable. You guys who watch this every week know how much work I put into this. And so to support me further, you can do by heading over to the Spill It website, where you'll be able to support me by doing 4 different things. Number 1, you can buy merch. So I've got merch available. I've got brand new merch available as well, which is in the form of hoodies, which say a little bit of merch, which is obviously in line with a little bit of Marcus. You can also buy these brand new Spill It beat. So let me start that again. You can also buy the Spill It beanies. So I've got woolen Spill It beanies with the leather label saying Spill It. Now they are actually going on sale as well, so keep an eye out for that little sale. It's a clearance sale of those Spill It beanies, so make sure that you get some of those. I've got loads and loads of colors available, and once we've sold out of those limited edition Spill It beanies, we are sold out. There will be no more coming back in. The other way that you can support me as well is by heading over to Patreon. So there is a link on the Spill It website. You can be able to support me by donating as little as £2 per month, where you'll be able to get access to extra additional episodes of Spill It. You'll be able to connect with some of my guests personally in this little setting that we have right here. And you'll also get discounts off merch as well. The other 2 ways that you can support me, by inviting people into the Spill It community. So if you're watching this via Facebook, then you can invite people to the Spill It group, and you'll be able to then get them involved, and then they can even come onto the show and they can just learn a lot more as well. They can become official Spill It teacups. It's amazing. And lastly, you can leave me a review. If you liked this episode or you like the work that I do, then leave me a review. You can leave a review over on Facebook, or you can leave me a review on Apple Podcasts if that's what you're listening to this. Leave me a review. I absolutely love reading them. One of the reviews just absolutely had me rolling on the floor laughing. It was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, leave me a review. 5 stars is always good. If you didn't enjoy the show, don't leave me a review. It's as simple as that. Move on with your life. But that is how you can support me. Thank you so much to everybody who is watching. The podcast will be updated on Friday. Thank you so much. And until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Spill It. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Spill It goes live every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And a special thank you to these amazing teacups.